Welcome to our morning devotions. We are bringing these to you knowing that some of you are not able to get our devotional booklets because they're delivered to the church. We also given it to you because we realize that many of you are taking walks and listening to things, and we invite you to start your day with a word from God. And so I invite you to do these things each and every day as we live our Christian walk and faith. I will start every day by being open to the blessings that God is going to give me. I will realize every day that I am the face of God to everyone I meet. And I will end every day by thanking God for the blessings received and place into God's hands my worries and fears.
Today we read from Christ in Our Home, October, November, December 2020. It's Tuesday, November 24th. Our reading today is from Esther, chapter 8, verses 3 through 17. Today, I am especially grateful for all those who take risk in our behalf, including the many brave police officers in our community. Then Esther spoke again to the king. She fell at his feet, weeping and pleading with him to avert the evil design of Haman the Agagite and the plot that he had devised against the Jews. The king held out the golden scepter to Esther, and Esther rose and stood before the king. She said, "If it pleases the king, and if I have won his favor, and if the things seem right before the king, and I have his approval, then let an order be written to revoke the letters devised by Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, which he wrote giving orders to destroy the Jews who are in all the provinces of the king. For how can I bear to see the calamity that is coming upon my people? Or how can I bear to see the destruction of my kindred?" Then King Ahasuerus said to Queen Esther and to the Jew Mordecai, "See, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and they have hanged him on the gallows because he plotted to lay hands on the Jews. You may write as you please with regard to the Jews in the name of the king, and seal it with the king's ring, for an edict written in the name of the king and sealed with the king's ring cannot be revoked." The king's secretaries were summoned at that time, in the 3rd month, which is the month of Sivan, in the 23rd day, and an edict was written, according to all that Mordecai had commanded, to the Jews and to the satraps and the governors and the officials of the provinces from India to Ethiopia, 127 provinces, to every province in its own script, and to every people in its own language, and also to the Jews in their script and their language. He wrote letters in the name of the king Ahasuerus, sealed them with the king's ring, and sent them by mounted couriers riding on fast steeds bred from the royal herd. By these letters, the king allowed the Jews who were in every city to assemble and defend their lives, to destroy, to kill, and to annihilate any armed force of any people or province that might attack them, with their children and women, and to plunder their goods on a single day throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus. On the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, a copy of the writ was to be issued as a decree in every province and published to all peoples. And the Jews were ready on that day to take revenge on their enemies. So the couriers, mounted on their swift royal steeds, hurried out, urged by the king's command. The decree was issued in the citadel of Susa. Then Mordecai went out from the presence of the king, wearing royal robes of blue and white, with a great golden crown and a mantle of fine linen and purple, while the city of Susa shouted and rejoiced. For the Jews there was light and gladness, joy and honor. In every province and in every city where the king's command and his edict came, there was gladness and joy among the Jews, a festival and a holiday. Furthermore, many of the people of the country professed to be Jews because the fear of the Jews had fallen upon them.
Tuesday, November 24th. Sometimes one person changes the course of history and affects the lives of countless people. Swedish diplomat and humanitarian Raoul Wallenberg is credited with saving thousands of Hungarian Jews from the Holocaust by issuing them Swedish passports and bringing them safely to his country. Centuries before Jesus, Esther risked her life by going to the king uninvited and asking him to stop Haman's plan to annihilate the Jews. Esther's uncle had told her, "Perhaps you have come to my royal dignity for just such a time as this." She had replied, "I will go to the king, though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish." The king granted her request and saved her people. We may never be called to risk our life to save another, but God only asked us to love our neighbor. This might mean, according to the small catechism, coming to their defense and help and serve them. It might mean rejecting the mood of the crowd to do what is right. That is the privilege and the risk of being a child of God. Ever-living God, help me make good decisions as I seek to follow your commandments. Amen.